Trains and ferry are a better combination than you might think at first. For example, on the line Hook of Holland Harwich. From Harwich International Railway Station you will find trains that will go directly to London but also other places within England. We'll be travelling with a direct train to London. This train is going to London Liverpool Street, what is one of the big terminal stations in London. From where on you can take the metro and go to the other terminal stations all around London. So join me on this train from Harwich International in England to London. It's not where I'm at right now, I just forgot to do the intro when I was at the spot. For now, let's get this video on the track and let's roll the intro. The night before I took a ferry from Hook of Holland in the Netherlands. This is not too far away from Rotterdam, and the metro station, what used to be a train station by the way, is located right next to the ferry terminal, what's really convenient. I travelled several times on board of this ferry and therefore also several times on this specific route by train between Harwich International and London, and this video is a combination of several trips I've made. On the route Hook of Holland Harwich you can find two vessels, the Stena Britannica and the Stena Hollandica. They're identical, at least the interior and also the exterior. However, since I made my most recent video about these vessels, they have upgraded these vessels big time, so I think I can make a new video on that. These ferries are in general really affordable. I mean, they are more affordable than making the same journey by Eurostar in many situations. They also have great railway sale offers. I'll tell you more about that on this Stena Line video. I also think it's great because you travel and sleep at the same time if you take the night ferry at least. And if you take the ferry at daytime, it's way more affordable, but obviously the time can be spent a little bit less efficient. Although I also did this once and I worked on my laptop because you also have Wi-Fi on board of the vessel. And even though a night crossing is slightly pricier because you need to book the cabin, you also save yourself a hotel. Obviously custom formalities take place at this ferry terminal. Just like they also took place at the ferry terminal at Hook of Holland where I departed from. Straight after customs you find these luggage belts. I've never seen them being used actually. If you know if they're being used every now and then, let me know in the comments. By the way, for the video that I'm making right now, I did exactly a video on exactly the same route, but with the older trains. I haven't covered these new trains on this route, so that I will do in this video. At the moment you leave the whole ferry terminal thing, you get out over here and this is basically straight at the railway station. Information about departing trains has been given crystal clear on this screen, and there are some waiting areas. Because I already made a video the other way around where I featured London Liverpool Street Railway Station, in this video I will highlight the railway station of Harwich International a little bit more. And yes, I know what you're thinking. This railway station isn't that special and the number of passengers that are using this railway station is quite low as well. I think it's mainly being used for people who use the ferry. Anyway, let's review this railway station. There are some ticket counters, although they were closed when I was here, but there's lots of staff available to assist you. There's some information about timetables as well, but also route information on digital screens has been given crystal clear. At this station you will find 3 tracks and 2 platforms. Track number 1 and 2 are mainly being used for the trains to London. The trains that do terminate here will mainly use track 1, and the trains that do terminate at Harwich Town and will move, for example, towards London or Manningtree, do depart from track 2. But please mind the screens because this might change in the future as well, and there might be some situations that it's different. Directions has been given crystal clear, and right now we are at the upper level of the railway station. Or ferry terminal, I don't know how I should say this. Over here you find access to the tracks 2 and 3. This here used to be an area where you could buy some snacks and drinks in the morning, but it has been closed since 2020. Really a pity though. And the waiting area over here is just huge. This is also the area before the check-in of the ferry, so I can imagine this can be a bit busy every now and then here, but personally I never saw it been really busy here. This space is just absolutely huge. There's a lot of place where you can take a sit. Also, public toilets can be found here. But in terms of food and drinks you can buy here, you have to rely on vending machines. There's not that much. This here is the overground passage that will gain access to the tracks 2 and 3. And also to the front of the railway station. I had some time to kill, I've never been there, so I just went there now as well. And to be honest, it's not really special at all. There's basically a big parking lot for lots of cars, and well, that's it. So let's head back into the railway station again. I hope you like this video so far. If you do so, or if it's a helpful video to you, please give me a thumbs up, I really appreciate that. If you have some questions, feedback, comments, let me know in the comment section. If you'd like to see more trip reports with more sustainable ways of transportation, the main focus for this channel is long distance and or international traveling. Well, this is not an international, not a long distance train, but it's connecting on an international ferry. But then hit that subscribe button if you haven't done this already. For now, let's continue with this video. Back to Harwich International Railway Station. This is a really industrial harbour area. So what else do you expect over here? In terms of accessibility, you will find elevators at all exits as well, and at the ferry terminal to track number 1 you will also find escalators. Vending machines can also be found at the platform, as you can see here, but if you book the rail and sail offer, you absolutely don't need to buy a ticket. Pretty often it's even cheaper than buying a normal fare for the ferry. I also have to say that the infrastructure to buy your train tickets online within the UK is pretty good as well. And the platforms themselves, they're really simple, nothing special about it. Of course you find some screens that will host information about the departures, and there are some places where you can take a seat. Today's journey will be on a relatively simple train, a British Rail Class 720. And the train is coming in right over here. At the front and at the side you will find some screens that will host information about the final destination and icons to indicate where you find the accessible area of the train, the bike area, and there's no first class on board of these trains. So everything is in standard or second class. You will find first class though on the intercity trains that do depart from Manningtree. If you change there, it's slightly faster. For now, let's take a close look at the interior of the train. These seats are really hidden. Well, at least they used every corner of the train to make it as efficient as possible. Power sockets are located literally all over the train. Pretty much all seats do have power sockets, what's really good. Free Wi-Fi is also available. This section here comes in a 2x2 configuration, but the biggest part of the train comes in a 2x3 configuration. The body for trains in the UK is in general a bit narrower than in the rest of Europe. This combined with this seat layout makes the aisles just really narrow. This here is the accessible area, where there's slightly more space and there are only 2 seats at the other side of the aisle. Let it be no surprise that close to the accessible area you also find the bigger accessible toilet. Well, what else should I say about these toilets? In general, the toilets were clean when I traveled on board of these trains. And this is obviously the bigger accessible toilet that can also be used for baby changing. You also find smaller toilets on board of these trains, obviously. Screens at the ceiling do host route information, and there's also a business indicator. Pretty often, if trains are busy, it happens that the rear part of the train has a lot of space, for example, and the front is pretty packed. And I really like these business indicators. There is an area for bikes, although if you just put your bike here and don't block the way, it's way easier for everybody. This here is, by the way, the business indicator that also indicates what toilets are available and what toilets are occupied. Now let's do a seat tour for the airline style seats. I have to add up to this, I'm quite a tall boy, and for a regional train it's okay. I do have to say I definitely had more comfortable trains. At the moment the seats do face each other, I have some more complaints about this topic.
It's hurting. Why are you filming me?
I'm filming the narrow leg space. I will complain about the leg space.
Oh, really?
Well, my girlfriend wasn't too much impressed by the legroom, so I think she was fine with it. For luggage, you obviously find the overhead luggage racks all over the train, and at the moment the back ends of the seats are right next to each other, you can also use that space for your luggage. Well, I think you have a good impression of these trains. If you want to know more, just let me know in the comments. For now, I'll show you the views from the train between Harwich International and London Liverpool Street. I'll get back to you at the end of the video. That's it for now. I hope you liked it, and once again, if you did so or has been helpful to you, give me a thumbs up. Questions, feedback, comments, let me know in the comment section. And if you'd like to see more, then hit that subscribe button. Before we really end up this video, one last thing. Once again, thank you for watching. I hope you liked this video and or this has been helpful to you. If you're interested in other videos, of course you can find them on this channel, and if you subscribe you can always see new videos coming up. Apart from that, in the description of this video on YouTube you find a link to a map, and on this map you can find our videos as well. But then on a map. See you on the next video.